Many people, including myself, thought the Bud Light situation couldn't get any worse, but it seems like somehow Bud Light and Anheuser Busch have found a way to make the situation with Dylan Mulvaney and the entire Bud Light boycott even worse, to the point where, as you can see on the screen right here from the New York Post, it says Bud Light distributors no longer expect sales to recover from Dylan Mulvaney disaster. That's so crazy how bad this brand, Bud Light and Anheuser Busch, have fallen off the face of the earth. They're still down 30% in sales week over week. So this week, in comparison to last year, they're still holding 30% sales down from the previous year. That's absolutely insane. I thought that these numbers would definitely fall off. I thought people would forget about the Bud Light boycott, just go back to drinking Bud Light. But it seems like the damage to the Bud Light brand is so much greater than just it trending on social media. You know, I thought once everybody stopped making videos on it, once people stopped making memes, TikTok stopped going viral, I thought that it would kind of fall off, that people would just start buying Bud Light again. But it seems like the damage to the Bud Light brand that Dylan Mulvaney and the Bud Light boycott have caused is just so great that the brand will truly never recover. Now you have actual Anheuser Busch and Bud Light execs coming out and saying the same thing, that the Bud Light brand is just not able to recover from this. We have Kevin O'Leary even coming out and giving lectures at colleges about the failure of Bud Light because it's just such a textbook way to destroy a brand, a legendary brand. Like, let's be real, the Bud Light brand was the beer brand in the world, and it's not because they had great beer, it's because their marketing was so good, and they have just absolutely thrown all of that in the trash. Many Anheuser-Busch distributors say they are resigned to their painful Bud Light losses that they have given up on luring back disaffected customers following the Dylan Mulvaney fiasco, the Post has learned. After 4 months of hiring freezes and layoffs, with some beer truck drivers getting heckled and harassed, even as Bud Light sales have dropped by more than 25%, Anheuser-Busch wholesalers have accepted that they have lost a chunk of their customers for good and need to focus on a new crop of drinkers. Consumers have made a choice, said an executive at a Texas-based beer distributor who did not want to be identified. They have left Bud Light, and that's how it's going to be. I don't envision a big percentage of them coming back. And like I said, that's because it's the damage to the Bud Light brand that has been done. It's no longer about, oh, this is trending on social media, so it's a joke for me to not drink Bud Light anymore. It's like, no. Not only do a lot of people not drink Bud Light anymore out of principle, but it's also the brand is just so damaged now. The brand is tarnished. When you think of Bud Light, you think of the memes on social media, you think of the viral TikToks, you think of the stupid things that Bud Light and the Anheuser-Busch execs have come out and said and done in certain interviews, and you just think, yeah, this brand is a joke. You know, I'm not drinking that brand anymore. I'm not drinking Bud Light anymore, and it really is just a textbook way to absolutely destroy a brand. Sales of Anheuser-Busch beers, including Budweiser, Michelob Ultra, and Busch Light, also have been in decline since Bud Light's marketing tie-up with trans influencer Mulvaney. What's more, those customers have likely found that Bud Light's competitors, including Coors Light and Miller Lite, are a very similar product. It's almost like they all taste like crap, at least in my opinion. Let me know in the comments if you disagree. It's almost like they all taste like crap, and the only reason why Bud Light was more successful than the others is because of how good their marketing has been. Like, it's really just the brand recognition. Like, when you think of beer, or at least light beer, you think of Bud Light. At least I do. And I'm not really a beer drinker. I'm sure a lot of you are going to say, oh no, I'm actually a beer connoisseur and the best beer is actually this. But most like casual beer drinkers, or even non-beer drinkers like myself, they think of Bud Light when they think of light beer. But now people are branching out. They're, like this article says right here, they're drinking Miller Lite and Coors Light, and they're realizing, hey, you know, these might be even a little bit better than Bud Light because they all kind of taste like trash. So it's not really difficult to just walk away from Bud Light forever. As you can see this article on the screen, it says Miller Lite and Coors Light outsell Bud Light by 50% as distributor warns it may never recover from Dylan Mulvaney backlash. The brewer of Miller Lite and Coors Light has reported a huge surge in sales as drinkers turn their backs on Bud Light after Dylan Mulvaney debacle. And I've been saying this since the beginning of the Bud Light fiasco. Miller and Coors Light aren't perfect either. They have sponsored some pretty bad things that I wouldn't agree with, that most people who are boycotting Bud Light also wouldn't agree with. But ever since the Bud Light fiasco started, Miller and Coors have been pretty quiet in their marketing, and that's all they had to do. Just be next to Bud Light in the stores, and that's all the marketing, that's all the branding that you need, because people are going to go to the beer section to buy some beer. They're going to see Bud Light, and they're going to remember, oh wait, I can't drink that. That's the beer that's getting made fun of on social media. So what are they going to do? They're going to go to the beer that's right next to it. The second most recognizable light beer brands are Coors and Miller. So obviously they're going to choose those. And we're seeing the numbers now for Miller Lite and Coors Light go absolutely crazy as they outperform Bud Light by over 50%. wild, man. That's the combined sales, by the way, not each of them outperforming Bud Light by 50%. But as you can see, the two beers combined sales were 50% greater than Bud Light's for the April and June period. We also have this article here from Fox News. Says Bud Light decline could last for a while. Customers not coming back, execs warn. Bud Light sales have declined by nearly 30% compared to last year. It's pretty wild. Like I said, Kevin O'Leary is even given speeches at colleges. You can see him on the screen right here talking about the Bud Light situation. He's even giving speeches in colleges, you know, showing these kids, showing the college students, this is how you destroy a brand. This is a textbook way the Bud Light situation is on how to destroy not only any brand, but like I said earlier, a legendary brand in the beer space. You know, whenever people think of light beer, in America at least, you think of Bud Light. You know, it's all over football. You know, all the NFL games are sponsored by Bud Light. If you go to an NFL game, they're always selling Bud Light in the stadium. They're walking up and down the stands selling Bud Light. Same thing with baseball. Any sporting event you go to, they're always walking up and down the stairs trying to sell everybody Bud Light. And I think that's going to change now. It might not even be any Anheuser Busch products at all. They might completely switch over to selling Miller Lite and Coors Light, or maybe other beer brands. Who knows? But I think they're going to learn really quickly. If they continue to try and sell Bud Light at these sporting events, they're going to sell a whole lot less beer. And I know that Bud Light might be like the official beer of the NFL or whatever, so maybe they will stick with Bud Light. But over time, I think that Bud Light is going to get phased out of these sporting events. Let me know what you're thinking in the comments about this whole Bud Light situation. If you could, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos just like this one. And I hope to see you on the next one.